However, this also came at a price. We were capable of doing anything, including experiencing within us both good and evil. We had tasted from the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. Perhaps this is why the snake was written to be Satan in the creation of the Old Testament, because they had stories of paradise and gods from their ancient history, and the authors naturally assumed that the exile from the Garden of Eden was a punishment. In a way, it was, because we had to learn to fend for ourselves from now on. But ultimately, that would bring us to, over the next thousands of years, evolve our consciousness higher and higher and become the beings that we are today. The beautiful thing is, we are still growing, and one day we will evolve to the point where we will know and understand that we are all connected, and we will travel and explore the universe and experience a life almost unimaginable to us today. Now, there's one more fun thing about all of this that I wish to share with you. Genesis 3:8 says, "Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, 'Where are you?' He answered, 'I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid.' And he said, 'Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?'" Okay, let's break this down. First, God is walking through the garden. He's walking, implying he has a physical body. In this classic scene, God is walking through the garden calling for Adam and Eve. He doesn't know where they are. He's God, but he doesn't know where Adam and Eve are? He calls for them and they come. He doesn't know that they ate the fruit until he sees them trying to hide themselves because they are ashamed. It is only then that he realizes what they've done. Now, is it just me, or is it a little curious that a being considered an omnipotent creator deity would both have a body, misplace his creations, and then not know what they've been up to while he was out? On top of that, the name used for God in the original Hebrew Bible is Elohim, and this is a word which is not actually singular, but plural. It gives support to the idea that the God the Bible is describing was not a singular being, but a race of beings, or at least multiple physical beings. And as we saw earlier, when Enlil found out what Enki had done, he was furious. But regardless of what Enlil had commanded, human beings were created, and this set them on a path. Humanity stepped into a new beginning, free of slavery, and into a journey of self-discovery. What's more amazing is that all of this was inscribed in the Sumerian tablets over 2,000 years before the Bible was ever written down. When discussing the story of the history of humanity, this is the part where there's a bit of a break in the chain, making it very difficult to discern the truth. Keep this in mind for this chapter specifically, because the ancient accounts are very fragmented and their meanings are not always agreed upon. You see, most stories in the Sumerian tablets document the creation of humanity and then usually are fragmented until the story of the flood. The flood is a huge discussion of its own and one that we're going to be exploring very soon. However, there is a big mystery of what happened in the middle. In order to make sense of it, we have to look to a few different sources. It's definitely one of those subjects that I really encourage keeping an open mind about, because there are several different key versions and stories about what happened, from James Churchward's account of Mu, to the Book of Enoch, to Plato's account of Atlantis, which may have even come from ancient Egypt. Along with that, we will also touch upon the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and other myths and legends from around the world, and of course, Drunvalo's account from his books, The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, which, as we mentioned before, did an amazing job of putting a complete story together only a few decades ago.